Okay, it looks like we are live. Sometimes I can't tell anymore because all these social media channels change things up. But today we have a great episode. We're going to be talking with Catherine Lemoine, who is a top fan of Developing Lafayette. Like, she has the badge and everything, and she's always in the comments. She owns Pet Passages of Lafayette. It is essentially a pet crematory. But we'll get into that. There's a ton of other stuff that they do and offer, and they help guide pet parents in the event of a loss of a family pet. So really, really nice business. Also, our studio is sponsored by the Optimized Generator people. They are a great local company. Basically, if you're looking to power your home during an outage, like, we get a lot of hurricanes. The occasional brisk wind will knock down a pole, or some guy leaving the bar at night hits the pole and knocks it down. Your power goes out for a few hours, sometimes a couple of weeks. Optimized Generator people can help you with that. They help power your home with confidence during any outage. You can trust Optimized Generator people for reliable home standby Generac generator solutions and expert service. Their tagline is control your power, control your life. Their website is optimizegp.com. I see a lot of Generac generators on people's homes, and I'm always a little jealous because I know that whenever they lose power, they still got power, and we're just over there like sitting ducks. So I don't have a whole home generator yet, but now that they're sponsors and I keep talking about them, I'm convincing myself. So anyway, check them out, optimizegp.com. And with that, enjoy the episode. Alrighty, so now is time to get the episode started. Today, like I said earlier, we have Catherine Lemoine with Pet Passages of Lafayette. Catherine, welcome to the T Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you a Lafayette native?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Born and raised in Lafayette. Lived in the same house growing up, went to school here. I moved to Houston for a short period of time right after high school because I thought I was going to go to art school. And I learned really quick that art stops being fun when it becomes a job. And so from there, I got into the animal shelter, animal rescue world and kind of found my passion working with animals there. I lasted in Houston until about 2004 when I came running back home, and I've been here ever since.
So 2004, you came back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved back to Lafayette.
All right. Yeah. So, and you were going to school for art.
Yes.
Dude. Okay. Like you said, art stops being fun when you got to make it a business. And
really is.
Yeah. You got to figure out, okay, I love doing all the fun tchotchke type of art, but what sells?
Right.
And that's what kills the mood.
Right. And then the homework, they turn into homework. You have to draw 25 creative sketches and turn them in once a week, and your creative juices run out.
Yeah.
Quick.
No doubt. Well, I know I want to continue the conversation. I do want to get my next sponsor in, and he's the presenting sponsor. It is Chase Group Construction. I should have done that right before, but this is live, guys, so just bear with me. But Chase Group Construction, they take the lead and become your one point of contact for the entire design build process. So if you're looking to build something new, like a business from the ground up or to renovate, they're your people to go to. They're doing some really cool stuff in town right now. They're building a really cool pickleball complex in Youngsville. It's a restaurant and pickleball thing. It's the same owners as Fat Pat's that are doing it. So, and they also, Chase Group Construction built Fat Pat's in Broussard and Breaux Bridge. Huh. So if you ever been there, they built that. Really good local company. They design and build. Check them out, chasegroupconstruction.com. I should have had a better configuration of my hot buttons there. But yeah, so going back to the whole art thing. So you're in school, right? Trying to do art. what changed your mind? Like at what point did you say, okay, this is not for me?
I lasted about 6 months in doing the art school thing, like into my second semester. And that's when it started getting a little more serious. And that's when I realized it just wasn't for me. I had a friend that lived in Houston that worked at the Houston Humane Society in their marketing department. And so she's like, hey, they're looking for adoption counselors. You want a job? And, if I'm not in school, my parents aren't going to support me. I'm going to need a job. I'm going to get kicked out of student housing. I got to figure it out. And at that point, I was 18 and cocky, so I wasn't about to say, well, I'm coming back home. So I went and I got my little adoption counselor job. And, within a week, was in love with what I was doing.
Okay.
And so, it just kind of introduced me, to the pet cremation world and just the veterinary world in general.
Yeah, so you've been in the... I guess if you want to call it the pet industry, the pet business for well over 20 years.
Yes,
Wow.
the companion animal industry.
Companion animal industry.
That's
okay.
correct. I've been in it since 2000, and I've worked every aspect from, being an adoption counselor to being a shelter tech, doing the medical workup on them. Then I moved back here and did veterinary nursing for a while, and now I'm on the back end of it all.
Yeah, no. So I love that. So I was in art too. I didn't go to college for art. I didn't go to college at all. Actually,
I struggled twice and gave up.
Look, I struggled in high school for believe it or not, English.
Yeah, really.
Writing.
It's fine. I'm just not good at school. I'm just not good at. I'm good at figuring things out. But I'm not good at school.
Yeah, no, I wasn't the greatest student. In fact, if I made a C or a B, I was doing pretty good.
Right.
Because do you know how they have like honor roll and well, in my parish, it was the top of the line roll. I guess if you could get was banner roll. That was like all A's. Basically, essentially principal's list. Yeah. And next was honor roll. That was A's and B's. And then there was merit roll, which was like B's and C's. I got merit roll once in my entire school life. Most of the time, I was a D to F student.
Did your parents put the merit roll on the fridge?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they were super proud of it. And my parents even tried to say, like, look, if you get banner roll, we'll give you like $20. Like
if you do average, we'll give you $20.
They were begging. They were begging me to do better, but I was like, I'm trying. And my dad would use this term, you need to apply yourself. I'm like, what does that mean? I still really don't even know what it means.
How much more of myself can I put into it?
But, I probably could have done better in school, but it was one of those things where I'm like,
it's easy to do better when you can look back with the wisdom,
Yeah. There are things now that I would have taken a little bit more seriously. Case in point, English and grammar.
Right.
Because it turns out that I happen to write for a living at this point.
And boy, if you mess up, someone's going to let you know.
Oh, dude, I've been told to fire my writer so many times, and and thankfully I've gotten better with the use of AI. That's helped me out a lot because there were times like I use Grammarly a good bit and ChatGPT for a lot of different things, and there would be a time where I will get Grammarly to check my punctuation and my spelling and all that, and it would put a comma in a certain spot. I'm like, why did the comma go there? I wouldn't have put a comma there. Right. Why did it go there? Or like, what is this? Why does the semicolon go and where it goes? I never know
where those go.
It's tricky. I'm still learning it. I've YouTubed it a good bit, but I've had to improve. So yeah, just going back to the whole school thing, I wasn't the greatest student either.
No, it happens.
Okay. And so 2004, you come back to Lafayette. What did you start doing when you came back?
I went to work for our family vet at that time. It's back on the north side. And I worked there. It was towards the end of his career. So he basically retired. a couple years into it. And so from there, I ended up working at a larger practice doing the same thing. I was a veterinary nurse for 6 or 7 years for that. It was Dwar Ploche back in the day where Jet Coffee is now on Johnston Street.
Okay.
Back when it was a little rinky-dink. It's a rinky-dink practice, but we did good stuff. And so we used to be the clinic of the rich and famous. We had a really good clientele there. And so I really got my feet under me and my love and appreciation for working with pet owners and their pets. Like a lot of people go into the veterinary industry and they have this weird thought process of, I don't like people, I prefer animals. It's never going to work. that doesn't work in this industry because, you get to deal with animals, but 90% of what you do is you work with people that own animals. And
people that own animals are different.
They are because you're just like your kids. Your pet is the best pet. And regardless of how much he's scratching me up or biting my face, whatever, he's still the best pet. And so while I learned I love my pets the most, yours can be a little obnoxious, but I appreciate the bond because I can relate to the bond between the owner and the pet. My pets are just as obnoxious when they're with me also, but it's relatable and I can really relate to that. And so I made a lot of friends and customers that way because I was able to bond with them on that love for the pet. And so that's kind of where it all began.
Okay. Yeah. I get the thing with somebody else's pet can be obnoxious because, we experience that, we go to, families' houses and, okay, the pet is a little bit crazier than our pet.
Right.
But the thing is, a pet, like a dog or a cat, maybe not cats. Cats are vicious and canine, but dogs just want to play typically. And sometimes they nip because they're playing, especially if it's a big dog.
Or they just bounce and they're jumping and they're in you, breathing in your face. And when it's your dog, it's great. But when you're trying to have a conversation, it can get to be a bit much. But it's just like the overzealous kid. He just wants to be part of everything, you know.
Like, sit down, please. Just
sit down,
relax.
be
quiet. So is it true that dogs and their owners tend to look alike?
Yes. I mean, it's not a given across the board, but there are some that's just like, did you plan that? And a lot of times it's the personalities that mirror each other.
Okay.
That really gives them that feeling of looking alike. But you get the grumpy old man and the grumpy schnauzer together and they have the same personality. Yeah. And so we see that a lot.
Okay, because I was thinking quite literally, like, do they have the same haircut kind of thing, and I think sometimes that happens just because owners want to do that, I guess, to look like their pet or to have something similar, which is interesting. So I know I want to go a little deeper into your business, and I know it can get not to say depressing, but it can get somber a little bit. Yeah. But I want to kind of talk a little bit about just your relationship with Lafayette. Like, obviously, you've been here pretty much all your life. Right. It feels like. What about Lafayette is unique or special to you? I know that's very cliche, but
the thing is it's hard to explain because it's one of those if you know things. And like my partner for the business, whenever they came visit the first time, when they landed and got off the plane, they said, there's just something. There's just something. And they couldn't put it into words. They hadn't even they hadn't even left the airport yet, and they already had there's something.
You know what it was? It was the seasoning, I bet.
Right.
It's in the air.
And then that evening they went out and they experienced Lafayette. They went to like walk-ons, and so then they're like, wow, we just adore the way it is. And so it's like, when you ask, I can't can't put it into words, because if you go in the comment section, you want to beat your forehead. But then at the end of the day, I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. I have no desire to live anywhere else.
No.
And so it's the atmosphere. It's the atmosphere.
I feel the same way. I say this all the time. It's hard to, like you said, put it into words, but and people will still people, but there's something different about the way people are here that, even though, like, I think I said this in a comment section somewhere, it might have been like the unofficial Lafayette page, but I said something to the effect of, it was like trying to describe Lafayette to people that don't live in Lafayette, like what's something unique. And it was, we're so connected here. Like every city in the area from, Karen Crow, Broussard, and even farther out like Breaux Bridge, Crowley, Rain, Opelousas, there's something that we all kind of share. Mm-hmm. There's something in the air that pulls us all together. I don't know if it's festivals, it could be the food, it could be a mix of all that, but we're still gonna talk behind your back,
right?
On the patio.
But we'll help you when you need.
Oh, that's definitely.
Like something happens at your house, you need some help.
Yeah,
your neighbor's the first one there.
Yeah, you need.
But then
help.
he's gonna go home and tell your business to everybody else as soon as he's
like,
done.
and that's just Cajun culture, Cajun Zydeco culture. Period. I say Zydeco. That's more of a music genre. Cajun Creole culture. We That's just our fault in life is we're
nosy.
Yeah, we're very nosy. I mean, kind of case in point, the page that I run is the nosiest people.
Right. I mean, that's what it's for.
And I love it, but dude, it's just really wild. But yeah, Lafayette's a unique place. I mean, I'm from an hour north from Turkey Creek area, north of Ville Platte, if you know where that's at, and we're close there. But the cities, the towns around Turkey Creek, not really that close. Like it feels separated.
Right.
But whenever I would come to Lafayette and Karen Crow area, I live in Karen Crow. So like even then I could tell there was something different about this area. I'm like, why does it feel like everybody's friendly? And we're all like, I don't know. We just vibe together, and it's it's very cool.
The friendly is it. That's what, because like I went to in New York, and I was in the grocery store. I felt like I was in everybody's way. And I was just like, and just smile, and nobody does that. And it's like I couldn't have an interaction with a total stranger without smiling and being any kind of. It's just strange, but that's how we are. We're friendly.
We're a different type of people for sure. All right, so we are at 17 minutes. I want to go ahead and get my last and final sponsor in, and that is the. Are you gonna pull up? Of course, it doesn't pull up right now. Oh, you know why? I didn't switch my thing. There you go. Music Academy of Acadiana. They're a sponsor. Look, Tim Benson, the founder of the Music Academy of Acadiana, he's a great guy. He's been sponsoring the podcast and supportive of Developing Lafayette for I think since around COVID, like almost a little over 5 years. And he loves hearing his business mentioned on here. And he said, he told me once, he said, I know you don't realize this, but what you're doing is bigger than who you are. Like it's bigger than you. Yeah. And whenever I heard that, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. It was very weird to hear.
When people refer to you as Developing Lafayette, not your name.
Right.
That's Developing Lafayette over there.
That's the DL guy. Yeah, I've been referred to that. But yeah, the Music Academy, if you want to learn music, whether you're old, young, experienced, or completely just garbage at music and you want to improve, they teach you all different styles of music. They have stringed instruments, drums. So if you like to beat on things or if you like to pluck things, talking about instruments here, and if you want to learn the behind the scenes things, they have an award-winning music audio studio where you can do the whole switches and make music sound good, and you can also record an album there. So really great school. They have over 500 students in and out every month, locally founded. I can't say anything better. They've appeared on American Idol and The Voice, so that's really cool. Tim Benson's a great guy, UL Music School graduate, UL Lafayette music school graduate. The UL people, the UL administrators are going to come in here and tell me I didn't say it right. UL Lafayette. Anyway, check them out. Music Academy, Acadiana.com. Great local people. There we go. All right. So I want to know a little bit more about Pet Passages. So I wrote about it whenever you opened it.
Yeah. And
it's a pet crematory in a nutshell, but you offer so many other things. So tell me a little bit about the business, how it got started, because you're not the original founder. It's a franchise.
Yes, it is a franchise.
So tell me a little bit about how it got started.
The first thing, the biggest thing that sets us apart is, yes, it's a crematory, but first and foremost, we're a pet funeral home with an on-site crematory. And like I had mentioned to you before, our focus isn't just the cremation and be gone. We focus on assisting the pet owner through the passage of their pet, and giving them the support they need. I've been in the industry locally since 2013. And when I first got into this industry, I worked for other people. And it was just that. It was, pet cremation. You went to your vet sent it, and you took what you could get. And which was fine, and everybody was okay with that. And on occasion we get people like, oh, I want a special urn, or can we put a custom, it was an occasional thing. But as time progressed, and just like you, it's that COVID, that's when there was a big shift in the pet owners and their desires and what they needed to get through the process. I'd get more and more people that wanted to visit, or can we come see one more time? Can we witness the cremation? Things like that. The standard little box wasn't good enough because this pet is special. Everybody's pet is special, and they want that unique type of memorial. And so it was harder and harder to be able to offer that. And so with this business model, we're able to give them all of the space they need in order to say goodbye the way that they need to say goodbye. We have, the shop with all of the customizable options. We have our monthly support group, which meets third Sunday of every month, for people that are struggling with the grief or even anticipated grief associated with losing a pet. I find a lot of my clients are surprised by their own grief because they don't expect it until the pet's gone. And like I've said for years, is when you lose a person, everybody understands. Everybody's supportive. Everybody, wants to be there for you. When you lose a pet, there's still quite a handful, quite a large number of people that'll say, well, go get another one. There's plenty. Like, why are you being so dramatic? And invalidating someone's grief is horrible. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't do that to a person, when they're losing another person. And so when people come to me after been told by their husband, their wife, their aunt, or that they're being dramatic, they come to me, and I understand. I'm a sympathetic crier, so I'll be sitting there just sobbing right alongside them. But I'm there to listen, and I love to hear what their stories. They share the stories of why that pet was so special to them, and that part means a lot to me. It's nice to see who I'm taking care of, and you get to know the pet owner like on a level like that. I don't know. That's it. That's what we're here for.
So you mentioned that COVID kind of. You saw a shift in people and pet owners around the COVID era of time. I still feel like we're living in COVID era, but it's weird because like time has changed. Time has shifted in a weird way. Right. What do you feel like? What do you think happened? Like, what do you attribute people's need to have their pets, which is essentially an extension of your family, now treated with more dignity now, rather than in the back of the day, you would just take your pet and bury it in the backyard, put a little cross in the dirt if you
wanted to. Which people still do. I mean, that's all personal preference. I think as we progressed, just the pet's place in the family has increased. Their place in the hierarchy of the family and being that bond with them. I think for those that had that bond before, they expected the dignity, but they didn't question it. They didn't, they just took what they can. I think COVID made a lot of people sit home, a lot more time on social media, a lot more time discussing and researching, and also time away from other people with their pets. A lot of loneliness that developed, and a lot more closer bond with their pets started making people question and desire more.
And I guess with the lockdowns, you were home with whatever was with you. So if you had a pet, you were home with your pet.
Right. And for those people that were used to socializing and family gatherings all the time, and then that was cut off, they had to find something else to fill that void. And the bond with the pets just grew. Is that what it is? I don't know. But I just know that was definitely a turning point from we got to start offering more. Especially with the grief support. You'd be surprised how many people really struggle emotionally with the loss of a pet.
I mean, I can imagine, but that's all I can do is imagine it, because, I mean, I've lost pets before, but it was never crazy. Like, I was like, oh, I mean, it's sad, but, what we did, like you said, we would get another one. And it was just that. And we would bury the one that we had and, treat it with respect. And then we get another one. But like, we have a dog now. Me and my wife got this dog in 2012. It was 2 years old when we got him. Oh, my
goodness.
According to what we were told.
Right.
It was so funny. I had lost a dog that before I moved to Lafayette, I didn't bring my family pet with me. Her name was Jessie. I know, like a human name, but it was like a little mixed dog and small dog. I always liked smaller dogs, and I didn't bring it with me because I was living in an apartment when I first moved here, and there was a no pet apartment. So I had to leave her with my mom and dad, and she ultimately died because she chased a tire. And she normally didn't do that, but she did at that one point. And I was upset. And so my mom and dad, they buried her and all that good stuff. And then whenever I moved here in 2010, I met a girl. And then over time, I was like, we were thinking like we should have a pet. And I said, well, look, if we're going to have a pet, I think I want a Chihuahua. And my wife was like, I do not want a Chihuahua. I said, well, I mean, what kind of dog do you want? She's like, I think I want like maybe a Maltese. I'm like, oh my God. Are those like the dogs with the white hair that it's super long and, they're expensive and all this other stuff? She goes, I mean, yeah, but maybe we can find someone who has some and, they're not charging a lot. I said, I don't know. We'll see. Well, not long after that, it's weird how things, I don't want to call it the universe because some people get weirded out with that. It's weird how just, I guess for sake of being generic, you want to, talk about divine, if you want to talk about universe or God or whatever. The way things work out in life is we got a message or saw a message on Facebook that someone was giving away a dog. And the description was, it is a mixed Maltese Chihuahua.
Stop.
I'm not even kidding you. I'm not making this up. And I was like, Kelly, this is too weird. Like, if we don't move on this, like this is saying this is our dog.
Right.
So we reached out, and thankfully Kelly, my wife, knew this person that was helping this person give away this dog, because I guess they had too many and they couldn't take care of it. And so they were doing the right thing by, trying to find someone to take it. And so we met up with them in Opelousas. And as soon as I got the dog, I was like, and they named it Scooby, and we kept the name. I know, Scooby. And it was the most, the haircut that he had was the worst haircut ever. I still have pictures of him. And I was like, I immediately in the car, I was driving with him on my lap. I said, I I want to go get him groomed right now.
I'm embarrassed to bring him home.
I kind of was. I was like, I want to get him groomed right now. And we didn't because I had to make an appointment and all this good stuff. And ultimately, his hair grew a little bit, and then we got him groomed. And the cutest little dog, but a mutt, essentially, Maltese Chihuahua mix. That's a weird mix. And so, yeah, we've had that dog since 2012. And he is starting to show his age.
I mean, those Chihuahuas hang in for a long time.
Yeah. He's got one tooth.
And they, like, if you ever look up the My Dog Duffy skit by Jim Brewer,
okay,
and, it'll describe where you're going. With that. Those little dogs hang in there forever.
Yeah, it's almost like that. I don't know if you've seen these TikTok trends where what is the voice? It's like, what time is it? It's like a little dog that looks decrepit.
It's
what
4,
time is it? It's
4:30.
What time is dinner? 4? No, 4:30. Whatever it goes.
Yes, that is always those little old dogs. It makes
it's
me
the
laugh.
Little old Chihuahua looking dogs too, and they're like shaking, and their mouth is like crooked because they have no teeth.
Yep, and they just hang in there.
So my wife and I, every time we see a video like that, we're like, oh my god, Scooby's gonna look just like this. Scooby's white because he's a Maltese mix, and so we can't tell if he has gray hair.
Right.
Don't know.
He don't go gray. Yeah.
But he looks old. Like we could tell from his original pictures when we first got him to now, and it could be his teeth too, making his mouth shrink a little bit because he doesn't have them. But he looks younger in older pictures, and now he's looking a little older. He can't hear for crap.
Right.
He cannot hear. Like, that was the first to go. And the doctors...
They'll sleep on the floor, and they can't hear you coming. You're like, oh, no, it's time to call Catherine.
Right,
and they walk up and they get up.
Like, there's times where I'll walk around the house, and he's sleeping. But there's times where I'm walking around, and I'm like, he should be moving, or he's like alert. No, can't hear me walking around. I'll walk right over him, and he freaks out because he'll see me. He's like, where'd you come from? I'm like, sorry, Scooby. I didn't mean to startle you there. But we know that, the average lifespan of a dog, especially mixed dogs, usually yields on the higher end. But like, we probably have maybe, give or take, 5 years, if that.
I mean, 15 is about an average age. With little Chihuahuas and things like that, I'll regularly see 17, maybe 18. But I mean, kind of across the board with cats and dogs, 15 is about your average.
Yeah.
They're not here for a long time. They're here for a good time.
So that's my thought is, what happens, with them at that point is like, I never had a dog with me that long. Like, I've had dogs for like 3 years, 5 years, and it's sad when you lose them, but.
And it's all of and that's fun because like the most common client I get that struggles the worst, it's kind of our age group, and it's that one pet that you get about 12, 14 years ago, and then you get married, you have kids, and that little dog is in the background of all the pictures. They grew up with the kids. Just a huge part of all of the major life changes that we go through. And so those are the ones that sting the worst when they're gone, because reminds you of all of the times that you've had, because granted, your 20s are fun, but once you have a family and all that, that's when it really kind of puts it in perspective. They're part of the family and how much of a role they have played in the family aspect. That one, and the other one that I see is kind of like your situation where kid moves away from home and leaves the family pet behind, and then that's the empty nest syndrome. So the parents kind of really bond with that as they're adjusting to their kids moving out. And so those are another one that I see that are just a very, very difficult time when they lose those pets.
Yeah. But I hear people that, and I have some family that lost a pet that was it was a family pet. They went through getting married, having kids, and this dog just got really old, and I mean, it was blind. It would bump into the wall, go like a Roomba, and poor little guy. It actually fell off the porch. Not a deep. It was like a little slab, and it walked right off. And I'm like, oh my god, it didn't even see it.
Yeah.
And the dog was named Bella. It was a little, oh my God, little bitty dog, Yorkie. Yes,
Bella, Yorkie named Bella. No way.
I know, no way, right? The most common name, but yeah, they lost it, and that was hard for them, and so they have decided at the moment not to get another pet because it was just too hard for them.
Yeah, a lot of because the first get another one, but 99% of my clients, I'll say absolutely not. Don't. You're never gonna forgive yourself. It'll be in the back of your mind. There's about 1% of the people where I'm like, stop at the shelter on the way home and adopt one. Like you need to have a pet. But most people, I say, give yourself some time. And also on the other hand is the second you go looking for one, 2 are going to show up, and now you got 3 pets that you didn't want. So give it time, give yourself some time to grieve, and next thing you know, there's a Chihuahua Maltese being, given away on Facebook.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, my mom and dad, whenever we were, I guess, aged, my mom and dad always had Dachshunds. And
they're so fun.
They're fun. They're fun, but they are just interesting. They love to hunt.
People forget that's what they're even
bred
the Yorkies, that's a terrier. They got jobs to do.
Yeah, they got jobs to do. That's right. And so my mom and dad had lost one of their Dachshunds. So my youngest brother decided to take his money that he worked for, and we lived near Alexandria at the time, in Turkey Creek, so it was the closest city to us. Big city anyway, that had like a PetSmart. And so they had a little family outside in front of PetSmart that had a little fence, and they had a bunch of little Dachshunds, and my brother picked one up and said, I'm getting this for my mom to help, because we always had a family dog.
Right.
And my mom was going through a hard time losing that one. And I think the one that she lost, I think we don't know what happened. It just disappeared, and I guess they let her outside. And they live in the country, so it could have been coyotes.
Right.
It could have been so we felt bad as brothers or their kids, and so my youngest brother used his money and helped get one, and that one lasted up until just a few years ago, and it got old, and it was peeing on itself and having seizures. And so they decided to not get another pet, and lo and behold, pets started showing up.
You don't always get an option.
Nope.
The same thing happened to my parents. Their last one died, and they're like, we're done, no more. And next thing they started cat door. Next thing you know, stray cat just literally walks in. It's like, hey guys, I live here now.
Yeah. So now they have a cat named, I think, named Bella. God.
That real creative with those names.
Yes. But and it's a lovable little cat. Most cats are. But yeah, so we also got another pet on top of having the dog that we still have, and very similar. I had the Acadiana Animal Aid executive director on my podcast once, and I told her that we were looking for a cat.
That's your little munchkin cat.
Yeah, I told her, I said we were looking for a munchkin cat. And I don't want to pay for one.
Right.
And I don't want one from a bad breeder. Like, honestly, I didn't even know that was a genetic
it's deformity.
It was like
with cats, all of the
it's
cat
a fatal
breeds.
deformity too. Like, it's bad. Like the rate of survival is bad. And they get bad back problems, all that good stuff. But I wanted a cat that couldn't jump on my countertop because we want an indoor cat.
Right.
Well, Kelly is like, I want a munchkin cat. I'm like, that'd be the only cat I'd want if we could find it. But I don't want to pay $1,800 for it. Well, a week later, not even kidding you, I wish I was lying, I'm making this up, but literally a week later, the executive director texted me. She's like, you'll never guess what we got. I'm like, what? She goes, we got a munchkin cat. I'm like, stop it. Like, real? She goes, she sent me a picture. I'm like, oh my God. And it was so short. I was like, and it was cute. I was like,
she's cute, yeah.
And it was a ragdoll cat. So like, I have not seen a ragdoll munchkin cat ever. So we went to the cat cottage, they call it, and looked at it, and
that was it.
Fell in love. And it's the most timid, chill, lovable cat, like very vocal too, and wants you to pet her non-stop.
Yep. You know,
it's almost annoying.
It is. It's absolutely. I've got one that makes biscuits on my face and sleeps draped across my face at night, and it drives you insane.
Yeah. We actually had to, like, the first night we had her, we left our bedroom door open. Nope. Came to start sleeping on our headboard and started licking us.
Knocking everything down.
Yeah. So we had to close the door, and she was fine after that for a little while. She whined, but anyway, I say that to say that now we have 2 pets, and I feel like the universe, God, divine, however you guys align, is setting us up, and it feels weird because right now we have 2 pets. One is old man, we call him the old man, and we call her a little hoe bag. She's so affectionate. Yeah. She's a little slut. And she'll lay down on her back and like round, like pat me. I'm like, you little whore. Like, so it's an interminative endearment for her. But we feel like, we have only a small amount of time. So going back to what you do, and I appreciate the type of work you do, because it's one of those things where you don't want to think about it.
Yep, nobody thinks about it.
But when that time comes, what do you do? Like, I'm not gonna go dig a hole in my backyard. Yeah, not right now. It feels weird. People
are kind of shying away from that. It's very rare. But I mean, I answer the phone 24/7 because of that exact reason. Midnight, you walk in, your dog's dead. And people panic, and so they call, and there I am.
Yeah, my wife just commented. She goes, "Our little hoe bag." That's what we call
that poor kitty.
Hey, she is so lovable, though. We love her. Yeah. What does an average? So, in the event that this has to happen, what is the average cost to cremate a pet?
I mean, we offer quite a few options, and so it all depends on what the owner wants.
And the size of the animal?
And the size. So it's all going to be size dependent. We operate a little bit differently than other crematories, whereas we offer 3 types of cremations. And the reason for this is because, originally when people started cremating pets, it was people doing it in their backyard. Just and like a little side job. And back then it was very upfront, honest. We're going to do 1 pet. You're going to get your pet's ashes back. Well, as time progresses, of course, corporate interests show their face, and everything becomes about money and profit. And so there's a little loophole that started happening where they would do an individual cremation. And what that is multiple pets present in the cremation chamber at the same time, but segregated, so that when everything's done, they're still getting their pet's ashes back. And it just makes it more profitable for the entity. And so what we do is we've made it transparent. And so we offer 3 types. So we have the truly private. So if you pay for a truly private, you get the confidence knowing that your pet is the only pet that is present in the cremation chamber. We also offer semi-private, which is equal to the individual cremation, where it's, multiple pets completely segregated using our stainless steel partitioning system. And then that way, once everything is done, you're getting your pet's ashes back. And then the final one is what's called a basic or communal cremation. With that's for people that don't want their pet's ashes back. And so multiple pets are done together. They're not separated. And then we disperse the ashes on our property over off Pinhook. And so we've been doing it that way transparently since we've opened. And the number of people willing to pay an extra $100 to assure that their pet is the only pet in the cremation chamber gives me peace of knowing we're doing the right thing, that regardless of the loophole, regardless of the fact that, they're getting their pet's ashes back, there's that little peace of mind that these clients deserve. And in a business based on trust and centered around grief, it's easy to take advantage of people, and we refuse to do that, so we try to be completely transparent. We have an open door policy. We have viewing options, all of that to, like I tell people, whatever it takes to make you comfortable with this process, we are willing to do. You know, we have our standard across the board. We have a stainless steel ID tag that gets attached to the pet, stays with the pet through the whole process so that no matter what, we always know exactly who the pet is. That's our very basis of being able to track and assure the client that it's their pet. But like I said, we're willing to go above and beyond. And we've had, you know, quite a few witness cremations where people will come and watch their pet be loaded into the cremation chamber.
Oh, yeah. So that's that, and you don't have to pay extra for that to watch.
I don't charge extra for it. I mean, some crematories might. I know the corporate crematory does charge an additional fee to allow that to happen, but no, I do not. My goal is for the client to be comfortable with what we're doing.
Okay, so and obviously it goes by weight sizes, I'm sure, because you know it's a body, and you know I'm trying to choose my words wisely here. To cremate a body, you need a certain temperature, certain amount of hours, or however that looks, for it to fully go through. But
a lot of natural gas.
A lot of natural gas.
Our machine burns at 1,400 degrees. And that's what it takes to do a cremation, is that high of a temperature. And so, I mean, our return packages, like on this, for a small pet, our return packages start at $130. So for $130, somebody would get their pet's ashes back in a little velvet drawstring pouch using the semi-private cremation option. And then all return packages get a digital printout of the paw print and the nose print.
And you said
$130.
$130? Wow.
Right, for pets up to 20 pounds. That's
so
where it
inexpensive.
starts. Right. And that's our goal, is to make it accessible.
Yeah.
Nothing's the worst than talking to someone that is distraught because they lost their pet, and then now they're stuck with the body, and what are they going to do? You know, I called the vet, they're going to charge $300, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
You know, and so we try to keep it.
And that's
accessible.
for a semi-private?
For a semi-private, yeah. And then, like I said, $100 more is the truly private. But like I tell people, the final result of the two cremations is the same thing. You're getting your pet and only your pet's ashes back. So we use the semi-private to make it more affordable and more accessible, not for higher profit margin.
Love that. No. I love that. It's definitely comforting to know that many steps have been taken to assure, you know, affordability, but also just the peace of mind knowing that, you know, your pet is not being the ashes are just not mixed. And
no, we take special care.
Because truth to be told, if you really wanted to be a you know, not malicious, but
right, it's a business based on trust,
and you can just mix the ashes.
If I wanted, I can throw them all in and just, you know, but
somebody would never know,
and you would never know. And that's what, pardon my French, sucks about an industry like this, is because there's a lot of, you know, unsavory people out there that are aware of that. And so like I said, I've been in this industry long enough to know that you can't do that. You can't.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff. I'll be honest. So, Molly Portier, am I saying that right? I just used their service for my cat. Catherine is fantastic.
Oh,
Molly Daigle Portier.
Oh, Molly, that's Pepper's mama.
Yeah, she had commented.
Yeah.
And then earlier, when we first started, Maddie LeBlanc goes, "Whoop, go Catherine."
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you and I have talked a little bit about, you know, in the event that our dog, who's 5 pound nothing, ever, you know, passes away, that you would take care of them. And so it's like, it's not something I want to think about, but like, I know it's coming.
Right.
It's inevitable.
I mean, it's inevitable.
Yeah. And so I'm thankful to know that all the things that you're saying is what I was hoping that, you know, you would do. And to know that you have 3 different like methods, private, semi-private, and then, you know, just kind of communal. I mean, that's really cool. 'Cause like for example, let's say someone does want to just do communal because they don't want to bury their animal in the backyard, but they just want to do right by the animal and you know, cremate it. And
they still want it to have a dignified send-off.
and you'll still give them like paw print and stuff like that.
We'll do that. That's upon request. But yes, there's a lot of people that, I mean, there's some, you know, when you have a lot of pets over the years, you'll end up with like a brick wall of little urns. And so not everybody wants that. And so what they'll do is they'll get the communal cremation where we'll take care of the ashes once everything's done, but they'll get like the clay paw impression or just the digital printout. So they have some kind of memorial of their pet.
So for the communal, what is the cost for that?
Those start at $60. So for our smallest weight range, it's $60.
Yeah. So if somebody doesn't want to dig a hole and bury their pet, then do it a more dignified way. I mean, $60. And then what would something like a paw print impression or, you know, something to remember them by cost? Like
like we do the little digital print cards. Those are $5 each. Okay. We have like a round clay that comes in a little plastic, you know, protective case. That's $30. We also have a shadow box picture frame where you put your pet's picture on one side and there's a clay impression from their paw on the other side. That one's $45. And so any of those options are available, even regardless if you get the pet's ashes back or not.
That's awesome. Wow. Okay. Yeah. When did you first start Pet Passages?
Pet Passages, we opened June of 2023. Okay. Yeah, we were supposed to open in February, but Lord knows, permitting is fun.
I hear that. So do you have plans to expand the business, or do you feel like you like the pace?
I have to expand a little bit. You know, we got to be able to live comfortably and pay the bills. We're not, you know, we're still working on that. You know, my dream, my big dream is, something like, you know, the Pet Loss Support Center of Acadiana, something like that, to be able to really provide. Because like I said, as time goes on, these services become more and more necessary for some people. And so we'll see where it goes. But I mean, this is my career. Like, I'm not going to do nothing else. I'm not good at anything else.
You're not going back to art.
Nope.
This is your art.
Right. This is my art. And then I use it to support other artists because I love supporting the art because I can't do it. Yeah. Y'all do the hard work and I'll just keep supporting you.
I love it. Okay. So we're wrapping up here. We're at about 52 minutes. And you were nervous that you wasn't sure if you'd be able to get through it.
I was very nervous.
Yeah, because you were sending me little images of you breathing through bags and everything else.
You weren't supposed to tell that. We were supposed to assume I knew what I was doing.
No, look, she was ready. She was just, you know, everybody's nervous. Right. I'm always nervous to hit the record button and to go live. I'm like, is everything going to go right? What am I going to say? Am I going to look stupid? I always wonder, am I going to look stupid today? Right.
And chances are probably yes, but you just got to embrace it.
I look stupid all the time. You know, it is what it is. That's my life. So, and this week, same thing. I posted a teaser out there to Facebook world and teased everybody saying, you ain't never seen anything like this. And whenever I put that out there, I was fully expecting to let people know what that was that day, and that didn't happen. So I want to, if anybody's watching right now and you want to know what the tease was about, I'm about to tell you. And this is only for the people that watch this podcast through, because I'm not giving the information away for free. You got to put some sweat, blood, and tears in this thing, because I had to do that this week because all the comments, I was getting beat. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so essentially, the tease, and I don't even know if I told you yet.
No, you didn't. You beat around that bush for like an hour before we turned these cameras on.
Okay. So here goes. The tease, the tea that everybody wants me to spill is essentially ground patty, not the original patty that's named right now, the original ground patty,
the brick building, the stone building
that's located off of Johnson Street, right kind of near Izzo's, near UL area. It's about to be ground patty again. According to what I know, the original concept of ground patty that we knew, the staple of,
right, with the big open fire pit, burgers.
So they closed Ground Patty Grill and Bar on College Saloon.
Right.
Now, why did they do that? That's a question I'm still trying to get. Okay. If everybody wants to know why I didn't write the T's, it's because I was waiting on more information. And I still don't have that information. So questions are, first of all, why did you close College Saloon?
Right.
The most poppin' place right now in Lafayette.
Right.
Like as far as traffic and money going.
Right.
Like that's where you want to be.
Right.
You had a prime spot.
And I didn't think they were struggling.
I think they were. But that's another question. Why did you move from that spot? Because they had a sign whenever they closed, moving soon, we'll let you know, or someday. It was like back in 2023 where they posted that. And then in March, that's when Toasted Yolk said that they were going in there. 2024. Toasted Yolk moved into that building.
Okay.
So then everybody was like, hey, what's happening with Ground Patty? I'm like, I don't know. It's been over a year. I don't know. Well, I just found out this week that Ground Patty Grill and Bar is now moving into the former
Ground Patty
space. See,
that's the most Lafayette type thing.
I'm telling you, this is why I teased it up that way. It's something you ain't never seen before. I had never seen this.
Right.
Where two versions of the company have existed in town. One called the original Patty because they couldn't have the name Ground Patty because it was taken. So, and they existed. The original Patty existed in the original Ground Patty space, closed, and now the original Ground Patty is opening there again. It's the weirdest thing.
Right.
And that's why I said it. Y'all ain't never seen anything like this. Because I really haven't.
Yeah.
And I have proof that it's happened. I have renderings of the signage that's about to be installed in less than 2 weeks.
That's
and
funny.
People have been asking me, what's happening with Ground Patty on Johnson? Because they have work going in. It's going to be Ground Patty. I know.
Well,
I know.
You got to love it.
So, Emily Huval said, Emily, stop playing. I know.
Oh, Emily.
And then Maddie LeBlanc says, yes. Oh, gosh. I know. I don't know what to say to that. That's the big tease.
That's the tease.
If you're not happy with it and you're going to crash out, I'm sorry.
What am I going to do?
It's not P.F. Chang's.
No.
It's not Trader Joe's.
Oh, we need to get over it.
I know, dude. People are like, oh my God, give me the P.F. Chang's. I love P.F. Chang's. I do. But we have it. It's an hour away.
Right.
I'll just go to Baton Rouge.
Well, we need to stop bringing Baton Rouge over here.
I know. There's so much Baton Rouge coming to Lafayette.
Like I said, it's Little Houston, Little Baton Rouge is what we try to do at that corner.
Yeah. So Little Houston, we're Coliseum Ambassador. I'm calling it Little Houston, and I'm hoping that it sounds like it's permeating. So there's I think Little Asia is starting to come up. Right. Which there.
I can't get behind that.
Yeah.
I can't get behind that. I lived in Houston. That's why I called it Little Houston, because it looked like the intersection where I lived when I lived in Houston.
And it's all the big box stuff. Little Asia is coming up right there at Ambassador and Johnson Street.
Good for it.
So you have Tokyo, you have Ahi Sushi, you have
the Asian supermarket
just opened up there. You have noodle dumplings, soup dumpling or something like that going in, where it used to be like something moon Shanghai Moon or something like that a while back. There's so many Asian restaurants right there. And then we also have a Little Mexico.
I love it. Yeah, we're off Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron and Ambassador Johnson, Cameron Ambassador. Yeah, so there's like all the little
Chicano barber shops.
And you got the Mexican grocery stores.
That's the stuff I miss from Houston that we didn't have here. Because when I moved to Houston and moved back here, the Mexican food was LaFonda. And so I actually moved to Houston thinking I didn't like Mexican food. I was like, because I'd grown up in LaFonda. My dad was the bartender there. And so I moved to Houston and I was like, I love Mexican food. Dude, it's delicious.
I mean, we have there's pockets in Lafayette we have good Mexican, but when you find it, you got to stick with it. Like,
right. But it's new. But early 2000s, we didn't have that.
No.
But now it's growing. I love it.
Yeah, we have some good stuff here, but we also have some mediocre stuff. You know, and we have so many Mexican restaurants, you can just find your poison, you know? Well, yeah, so that's the news, man. I'm hoping that it's not going to be too much of an issue. I am going to get tore up.
You're going to get tore up.
That's it. That's the news. Crashing out. I'm telling you.
Yeah, just turn off the notifications for the day.
Unfollowed.
Right.
Dude, speaking of follows, I had posted about that Bucky's groundwork started. So many followers from that. It's wild.
Like added on?
Dude, it just this week I went from just over 75,000 followers. I'm almost at 78,000 right now.
Over Bucky's.
Insane.
Imagine how many when PF Chang's and
I know. Yeah, I know.
100,000. Here you
go.
Dude,
I never thought I would ever see 100,000, but you know, also never thought I'd see 10,000 back in the day.
There you go.
And so, but yeah,
I'm pretty sure I started following you in the 10,000 range.
Yeah, I feel like you've been a veteran. You're a veteran, so you've been a while. I've been around. Regardless if you have the top fan badge or not, you're a top fan. Yeah. Well, Catherine, man, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thankful to have you on and to talk about your business, to let people know about it and educate people. So there might be some people that have an older pet that they don't realize maybe getting to that point. Mm-hmm. They don't want to think about it because it's not fun to think about. But you're a solid option to bring your pet to and to have a dignified way of leaving this earth.
Yeah. Aftercare.
Aftercare, yes.
Dignified aftercare and grief support.
Love that. Love that. Well, Catherine, let us know how they can find you.
You can either call us. Our phone number is 337-534-0098. We're, of course, on Facebook. And our website is lafayette.la.petpassages.com. We're available by appointment 24/7. I personally answer every phone call because I want to know my clients. So if you have any questions, always reach out.
Perfect. Well, with that, guys, y'all have a great one. Hopefully the teas didn't piss you off too bad. I think it's good. I like Grand Patty.
It's fun.
Whenever I first moved here, Grand Patty was legit. Mm-hmm. And so I'm hoping it's coming back full force and it's not Trader Joe's or PF Chang's. But Catherine, again, appreciate you having you on. I'm glad that it turned out well for you and
Thanks.
You didn't flake out. You know. Anyway, hope you have a great weekend and happy Mardi Gras. All right, guys, that's it. The website again is Lafayette.la.petpassages.com. It's in the caption. If you want to click it, there you go. Check them out. Really great local company, local franchise, local owner. And with that, we'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a good one.